Hello there, and welcome to a new episode of our Silent Hunter 3 campaign in the OneAlex Mod Edition. Oh, and the waves are immediately washing over the conning tower. We have a contact out there, some kind of ship, and well, I can't really do much to it because I'm completely out of torpedoes. I do have shells for the gun, however, the sea is just too rough to use those. But I am curious what I'm looking at, so let's investigate. This thing, whatever it is, looks... You know what? Bring me the user.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
What am I looking at? The waves are too choppy. They really are. Oh. Okay, maybe we can get a good look at it here. Come on. Don't be like that. That is definitely a big ship. That's most definitely a big ship. We are getting kinda close to it. I mean, we can see the superstructure of that ship easily. So I'm assuming it won't be too long before they can see us, even in these waves. So let's actually... We'll clear the bridge and we'll go down to periscope depth. And then we'll close the distance. Bring us up to speed. And down to periscope depth.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Auf Seerotiefe gehen.
Come on. And I will place somebody on hydrophone duty who is not completely exhausted from our previous engagements. There we go.
Derzeitige Tiefe 1-0.
Thank you. There we go. I'll maintain the high speed for just a moment. But let's go over to the hydrophone and see if we can hear anything. Maybe, oops, what was that? Okay, the hydrophone operator, he is already scanning our surroundings. I'm curious to see if he will pick it up at the speed that we are going. I don't think he will. So let's go ahead and listen in ourselves. There. That sounds like quite a powerful engine. It sure does. I wonder how fast that ship is going. I guess we'll find out soon enough, but
Jawohl,
let's
Herr Kaloin.
slow
Ein
down just a little
Drittel
bit,
voraus.
so that I can raise the periscope and observe this thing. Yeah, let's use the observation periscope. There we go. There it is. Is that thing coming directly at me? No, it isn't. It doesn't appear to be fast, but it certainly appears to be big. I can't see a flag yet, so I have no clue what I'm actually looking at. I'm currently in this area here, DH19. Still on my way, still on my way from DH44 off to the northwestern coast of Spain, and then we'll sail through the Gulf of Biscay all the way to Lorient. That's the plan right now. But
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
I'm already
Auf Seerottie
pressed
begehen.
the wrong button. There we go. But what is that? It looks massive. It looks absolutely massive. I think I see multiple smokestacks even. So I'm very curious to see what this is. I might... Let's see. What kind of... No, weapon officer on station. Come on, I need somebody. Yeah, why not you? Who else do we have? Let's exchange people a little bit. There we go. Let's go back to our periscope. Weapon officer. Attack disc. Let's use this thing properly. What kind of AOB am I looking at? I'm looking at something like maybe 10-degree AOB. More or less, yeah. So that ship is traveling on a course of 185 degrees, possibly. If you're traveling on a course of 185 degrees... Let's just mark this from here. I want to see where he is potentially going. So he's going south to the coast of Africa. Possibly coming... Is it my imagination, or is it getting closer quite fast? You know what, I don't want to waste too much time here. We are in
Jawohl,
fact
Herr
turning in
Kaloin.
towards
Neuer
the ship.
Kurs 1-4.
I want to open up the AOB so that I can get a better look at this ship and determine what I'm even looking at, how fast it is, the nationality, everything. As I said, keep in mind I have nothing to attack this ship. All the tubes are empty. I'll show you here on the weapon officer station. All the tubes empty. And the waves are too rough. Way too rough. Yeah, 10 meters per second. Way too rough to use the deck gun. You've seen how the waves are washing up to the conning tower. There's no way that we can make use of the deck gun in these waves. Still, the question remains what I am looking at here. Also, we should be vigilant. Keep an eye in the sky, so to speak, just to make sure that we are not surprised by any enemy airplanes. Although, realistically speaking, the position that we are in here is so far away from any British harbors or airfields. I don't think we will see airplanes in this area. The closest would be Gibraltar, and that's a good, yeah, 1,800 kilometers. Ah, that's a bit far. That's just a bit far for patrol planes. Once we are up here, maybe we might be in some danger. We will have to be vigilant. And of course the Gulf of Biscay, that will be a dangerous area in and of itself. I expect some enemy patrols to be in this area. Also possible airplane patrols from the south of England. At that point in the war, the English very well knew that the German Navy was set up to use the French harbors as bases, and especially U-boats were sailing from those. So they did start to patrol the Gulf of Biscay. A lot of U-boats vanished in this area. But right now we are focused on this thing, and it is getting closer and closer. And I am pretty confident that I see multiple smokestacks. Now, I would lie if I didn't admit that I have a very bad feeling in my stomach right now. Precisely because I do not have any more torpedoes on board. I have a suspicion here. I have a substantial suspicion. And if that suspicion turns out to be true... Oh my god. Okay, I'm starting to see a flag. And just by looking at that one tiny pixel, it seems to be a red one. I think it's red. That by itself doesn't mean too much yet, but it's not making my feeling any better. I'm telling you that much. And we are closing the distance fast. I think it might be a good idea to soon switch periscopes. Switch away from the observation periscope to the attack periscope. The attack periscope, I can show you that. We have some time here. This is, of course, the observation periscope. As you can see, it has a big round head with a big lens. A lens that can swing even upwards. Why was this periscope important? Well, first of all, you can look upwards, so it allows you to possibly see airplanes. But due to the big lens that it has on top, the lens lets in much more light than the lens on the attack periscope. We can raise that one for comparison. There it comes. You will see an immediate difference. Yeah. So, first one, observation periscope. Second one, attack periscope. And the difference is very obvious. The attack periscope has a much smaller head with a smaller lens in it. So it is much easier to hide it. It's much less noticeable. However, the downside of that is that the small opening lets only in so much light that makes it particularly hard to use the attack periscope in low light conditions or at night. There you would be better served with the observation periscope because the big lens head lets in more light, so you are getting a brighter picture. The picture on the attack periscope should be darker. Of course, the game unfortunately does not model that. It would be nice though. So yeah, well, let's lower the observation periscope and we are switching to the attack periscope now. That is a sight to behold. And I think I'm looking at some kind of cruise ship. There are multiple smokestacks. Oops. Definitely multiple smokestacks. Shall we try to identify this ship? You know my rule about not using the recognition manual, but that rule does not count for big warships, or for warships in general, and for big, very recognizable civilian ships. So something like huge cruise liners, for example. They are fair game in my book because realistically I can imagine that a U-boat crew would have had a recognition book on board with cutouts of very recognizable and very unique ships, so to speak. Something like a huge cruise liner would be something that is filling newspaper articles at the time. So yeah, they would definitely... I think they would definitely have cutouts of that to identify a ship like this. Let's go to the merchant shipping, and it's not this one. Possible? Mast? Mast. Mast in front, mast in the back. Yes. 4 smokestacks though. Do I see 4 stacks? 1, 2, 3? I think 3. Let's continue. Not that. No. Empress of Britain. My god. No, it's not this one. The mast in the front is not matching up. No. No. Mm-mm. No. Needs more smokestacks. Normandy liner. It's a possibility. Certainly, just by looking at the masts. Jesus. 83,000 tons. No, I don't think it's this one. No, no, the mast in the front doesn't fit. Queen of Bermuda. This is a better fit. Multiple different configurations, okay. I am looking at 3 smokestacks. But I don't think it's this one. Let's go back. I must have missed it. Is it this one? I don't think it is, to be honest. I don't think it's this one. Let's see what else is there with 3 smokestacks and a mast structure that fits the description. No. Wait. No. I don't think it's you. God, I hope it's not you. It might be you. Is it you? Oh my god. Is it? No. I will have to see where exactly the masts are positioned. No, it doesn't fit. The mast is positioned in front of the bridge. It's not this one. Okay, let's continue. Oh, the mast doesn't fit. Empress of Britain. No, it's not you. You have 4 stacks. It's not you either. Crap. What is it then? Oh my god. It is British. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Let's time the speed of this thing. Oh no. I'm looking at this thing and I'm thinking of all the tonnage that is just sailing by and I can't do anything to it. Oh no. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, mast set up like this. 1 mast on the aft deck. Yes, pretty high up. It's not this one. You got to be... No. I don't think it's this one.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Hard port. Increase speed.
Beide Maschinen AK voraus.
Volle Fahrt voraus.
It's not this one. God, I hope it's not this one. Well, this isn't much better, to be honest. But this...
Jawohl, Herr
Just slow
Kaloin.
down, I'm going
Große
too
Fahrt
fast.
voraus.
This kind of does look like it. Did I just sail by the Queen Mary, unable to do anything to it? Is this the Queen Mary? I mean, the mast in the front doesn't look right, but everything else kind of does. You have to be kidding me. Or even this one. Difference in length is substantial. I don't think it was the Queen Mary. That thing is 300 meters long. This doesn't look like it's 300 meters long. That looks much more like this one. In this configuration here. Okay, 26 seconds. 26 seconds with a length of 175 meters. 26, 175, something like so. That says 30 knots. We have to remove some of that. We took the measurement, I think, at an angle of 15 degrees, right? With ourselves going at a speed of almost 5 knots. We have to remove something. So we are left with about 12.5 knots. I can stay with that speed. Jesus. The question is, what do I do? This thing, I mean, I didn't see a single gun on this thing. This thing is unarmed. If it is this ship, then its defense is speed. This thing can go up to a speed of 22 knots. If I can keep in front of it and the weather calms down, I could try using the deck gun.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Neuer Kurs 199.
But what do the regulations say about passenger ships? Outside the operational area, the price regulations still apply. Passenger ships with more than 120 passengers are still ineligible targets unless in convoy. Ah. Any armed or hostile merchants. Yeah. Okay. The point is moot. I am not even allowed to attack this thing. Boy, oh boy. I mean, it's not really making the situation better, to be honest. I'm not allowed to attack that ship. It is not sailing as part of a convoy. It is completely unarmed. It is a passenger ship with over 120 passengers on board. It's safe for me. According to the price regulations, according to the rules that I established, and my orders, I am not allowed to attack this ship. We have to let it go. We have to let potentially 22,000 tons go, if it is indeed a Queen of Bermuda liner, but I'm fairly confident that it is. I mean, there were not many other options that fit the build, so to speak. Not really. No. I think we are right on the money with it being a Queen of Bermuda liner. 3 funnels, mast in front and on the back. Even the bridge structure kind of looks the same. Yeah, great. Navigator, bring us back on course.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Geht wieder auf Kurs, Herr Kaloin.
This is just excellent news. Lower the periscope. Can you imagine the frustration that U-boat crews must have felt in such a moment? Or maybe not. Maybe they were glad that they didn't have to sink a ship full of civilians. You know what? That's what I'm gonna focus on. We had the opportunity to hunt this ship, to chase it, and to await better conditions so that we can gun it down. But we decided against it in the interest of humanity. Oh my god. No, seriously, even if I had torpedoes on board, I would have taken another look at the price regulations and I wouldn't have taken the shot. There are hundreds of passengers, civilians on that ship. And it is a lot of tonnage, but at this point in the war, it is not allowed. And even if it was allowed, it's a pretty hard thing to swallow. Later on in the war, when these ships are transporting troops, it's a different story. But right now, yeah, they are ineligible targets for a reason. So, with that said, let's continue on our journey. The remainder of our journey to our new base in Lorient remained calm and uneventful. I can't stop thinking about that passenger liner. What a beauty of a ship. These passenger liners, with their luxury and their elegant lines, are true queens of the sea. I would really love to one day travel on one of those ships. Maybe to America or to Asia. But such thoughts are nothing more but idle daydreams. Such a voyage is expensive. Well beyond my means. Well beyond my meager salary as a Lieutenant Sauzet. And well, then there is the little problem of the war going on. But one day this war will end. And who knows what will be in store for me? Will I remain in the Navy? Or won't they have a use for me and I will return to civilian life? Maybe one day I could captain such a ship. I bet the bridge on such a liner is a much more comfortable, welcoming and prettier space than the command room in a submarine. It probably smells much better too. I gotta admit, we have been at sea for over 40 days. I think I've lost my sense of smell. We have arrived outside Lorient to meet up with the minesweeper that will guide us into the harbor. Here on the French Atlantic coast, the Royal Air Force is a bigger danger than in Wilhelmshaven. They are frequently dropping mines into their approaches to the harbors. So traversing these waters without an escort is incredibly dangerous. Sometimes they are outright attacking ships entering or leaving the harbor. We can only hope that the anti-aircraft armament on the minesweeper will be enough to scare off the planes if they should decide to come for us. In that case, we will not be able to dive. The waters here are too shallow, and There might be mines dropped by enemy airplanes sitting on the bottom, just waiting for a submarine foolish enough to try to traverse the area submerged. These are just some of the things that we need to be aware of in regards to our new base. I wonder what kind of reception we will receive there. It is a French port, and I'm not sure how friendly the French will be towards us. I have advised the crew to be cautious, but to also be friendly. We don't want to create any bad blood between us and the locals. We'll soon be back on land and we'll have ample opportunity to catch up on the latest news in the world. A few grand things happened while we were at sea. The Tripartite Pact was signed between Germany, Italy and Japan. A powerful alliance for mutual economic benefit. The war at sea against England is also going very well. In September, U-boats sunk about 60 ships for over 300,000 tons. In that month, only one submarine was lost to a collision in Brunsbüttel. It has already been raised and will most likely be repaired and be put back into service. The losses in ships that the enemy is suffering must be completely unsustainable, even for such a global empire. It can't be too long before we force them to surrender. Finally, we're entering the harbor proper, having raised our victory pennants, showing how many ships we have sunk. 2 of those pennants are in the vaunted red color, signifying warship sinkings. Sinking 57,000 tons of shipping, of which 33,000 tons are warship tonnage, is something that very few U-boats can claim to have achieved. And this time, it's going to be well rewarded. For our successful patrols, I'm finally receiving a promotion to Oberleutnant zur See. Some might say that this promotion was long overdue. After all, I'm once again leading the list of U-boat aces, with 171,000 tons sunk. A comfortable advantage to Prien, who is next in the list, with 147,000 tons. And the good news doesn't end there. Mine is not the only promotion awarded after this patrol. Machinist Herr, Torpedo Man Müller, and Radio Man Huxel are all receiving promotions from Bootsmann to Stabsbootsmann. Matrosengefreiter Bei is promoted to Matrosenobergefreiter. I've also recommended a few crew members for medals, of which all have been awarded. Matrosenobergefreiter Lanzinger, a machinist, has received the Iron Cross First Class. Unbeknownst to me at that time, he has prevented a critical engine failure while we were racing away from the auxiliary cruiser. I'm sure that he will one day be a very fine chief engineer. Also awarded has been our weapons officer, Emo Unterhorst. He has received an Iron Cross Second Class. Although this has only been his first patrol, he has kept a very cool head in intense situations and under enemy fire. Another Iron Cross Second Class is going to Chief Engineer Max Wove. His tireless efforts have kept the boat running during this very long patrol. Matrosenobergefreiter Bohnstedt and Navigator Haag will receive the U-boat War Badge for completing their second patrol. There is a lot to celebrate, and everyone on board is very much looking forward to it.